right now listening to it.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to try to figure out what that is tomorrow on the Opie and Anthony show. How about that?
And we never even got to the
Karen Meyer thing?
The catalyst of this whole thing.
We'll do the Karen Meyer thing tomorrow on this side of the show. We got lots of other things to do on the other side of the Opie and Anthony show today.
Right.
When we go over to XM Satellite Radio. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you're not joining us over at XM, have yourself a great day. Patrice O'Neill, thank you so much.
Good day, sir.
What's wrong? Why the look?
Nothing. Black Phillip, Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. Over at XM.
Nice.
We're out of here, guys. Thanks.
We're important people.
We sure are.
As a humanity on this planet right now.
Right now is a great time to be alive? That's what you're getting at?
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now. Right here, right now. Yeah, it's all relative. I'm sure they had their shit back in the late
They did, but we're not talking about it.
Yeah. Huh? Like
they
Civil War time. That was a fucking time
exactly.
to live through.
You get what I'm saying.
You lived through that.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
World War I, World War II, living through that.
Absolutely. Those were big times.
The in-between shit, if you were alive during that, who gives a fuck?
Korean War time from 1950 to 60.
It's like, 60s, huge changes going on. Technology really starting to take off, but Vietnam.
I mean, we live in a shitty time. It's like, I always think we live in a time that, like, if you're 85 years old, there's one day you might be able to say to somebody, I lived when there were pigeons.
Yeah, there were pigeons. There were.
Granddad, you knew pigeons?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
See, there's a picture of one right there on the hologram.
Woolly mammoth.
The woolly mammoth people are important people. No, I don't think people live with woolly mammoths, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
It was important.
But
that's what I'm saying. It's a very important time.
They didn't go away
so
that
important
long
they decided to draw some of that shit on the walls. And go,
asteroids?
Look, I gotta fucking draw this shit.
I gotta do it.
So the future people will know I was here and fucking...
We found out during our time, Pluto is not a planet.
Right.
I think the biggest thing...
Hold on. Before we move on, we are the future people. Man, are they disappointed.
They gotta be disappointed.
They had these cave drawings, leaving stuff for the future people.
Oh my God, imagine look at us thought was going on.
And look what we're doing with their future. Nothing. They had high hopes for us.
High hopes.
The future people.
They had high hopes for us in fucking the 50s.
And we're letting them down.
Here's what time we live in. There are movies that had 2 years ago as the future time in their movie.
Oh, I know. Just last night, there was this movie on. Peter Fonda was in it. And it was some futuristic movie where they were on Mars. And there was some kind of vampire thing going on Mars. Really awful movie. But it was 1990. The future. And you're like, oh, why do they do that?
Doesn't that take you right out?
1990.
We didn't even have iPods yet.
I think Aliens
Fucking
was
90.
like 2029 or something.
Yeah, like, we're catching up on the first Aliens. Where's the Nostromo? Build me that motherfucker.
Do you think that by this time people would think that there'll be that whole Jetson thing right now?
Back in, I would say, 1970 or late 60s, early 70s, where I started remembering things, like things meant something to me. I was becoming like a little person.
Right. A little brain.
I would think about what the fucking year 2000 and beyond would be, and it sure as shit wasn't this. It wasn't cars.
It wasn't 1960 except for now.
It's the same really fucking
special.
thing. Me and my girlfriend sitting at a diner one day.
Hold on, look up the year 1970. Maybe let's put this in perspective.
In perspective?
Maybe there are some crazy things that happened since then.
There are a lot of things.
Cable TV?
Sure, I'm not talking about that though. We were looking out the window of a diner, and it was one of these it's a town where not much changes over the years. So I looked, and there's the bank and the fucking, stationery store and maybe the different owners every so often. But I'm looking out the window, and I see, an old telephone pole, and the wires are strung. And I go, you know something? This someone could have looked out this fucking window in 1970 and seen the same fucking shit.
Pretty much the same.
Right out the window.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the cars are different. They're sleeker and stuff, and the buses are different, but the clothing a little bit different and stuff. But it's the same. Look at this motherfucker walking down the sidewalk. In 1970, some motherfucker was sitting in this diner looking at some motherfucker walk across the sidewalk. I'm looking up. I don't see any spaceships. I don't see flying cars. I don't see fucking, we have the ability to fly to other planets.
Yeah. I thought there would be the biggest invention, and the one I'm waiting for, but the one I thought would possibly happen, is a transporter, the fly. Yeah. That's the only thing I'm waiting for.
That's a
tough
fly. Nut to crack.
Yeah, how the hell are you going to figure that out?
Who the fuck is going to get into that son of a bitch?
Not the... You're right, though. I think...
What the hell is going to figure that out?
He's right about disappointing. I think...
That's a hard one.
I think people now, if you zip somebody from 1901 to now... It's almost...
They come running in the room like, I gotta meet the future people, and they meet us? Jesus.
And it's just the guy from Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that's it.
That old man walking around just like, oh, wow, things are faster.
I'm gonna go hang myself. This stinks. It is like an odd thing. I think the biggest change, and nothing since has really been that big.
Computer, I would say,
computer's huge. Huge, and that's what right now is all about, and I really think we're at the beginning of it. It's only been a few years.
I think if you zap somebody from if you brought somebody from 1901 here, the only thing that they would be astonished by is computers.
No, fucking flight is the biggest thing ever to ever happen to humanity. Going from nothing to the Wright brothers to fucking jet aircraft, winging you across the country.
I'll tell you why I disagree.
Why, sir?
I disagree with the plane. That's not the biggest invention.
Birds?
Biggest.
Dodo birds?
It's amazing.
Dodo
birds.
Birds.
He really has ADD. You go, I don't give a shit.
No, I'm listening.
I want to hear
Here's why I don't think... Wait, do you think planes, Opie, are the biggest invention? I don't think... I'll tell you why I don't think so.
Ant turned me on that, yeah.
Flight is the biggest thing to ever happen to human beings.
I disagree for this reason.
Okay.
Now why I agree, I think computers are. You don't have to fly to learn about the world. Computers have made the planet...
But no one's learning about the world with computers.
Computers have made the planet...
accessible.
Just smaller. Yeah. Like, even this so-called, this celebrity thing, this entertainment thing. I'm on MySpace, and what's tripping me out is like, okay... I'll get a MySpace thing like, hey, you fat fucker, you don't answer me back. Hey, fuck you, and this, that, and the third. Yep. So I'm sitting there like, why am I mad at this? Why? Because, and of course I'm not comparing myself to the dude, but let's say Cary Grant. People send things in the mail and cross their fingers hoping that a man that they thought was better than them would send them something back.
A fucking signed picture.
They did not go, fuck you, you asshole. People weren't that comfortable, and I think computers made... the world less, everybody's just conglomerate.
You know what though? It's just a better way of doing something that had been done for so fucking long. The town crier, the fucking message guy that used to run and give the message to people, and then they'd give something else back. It's like...
It's a great... I mean, of course, flight is fantastic,
but flight, all of a sudden, you have the ability to take a fucking army and drop it somewhere, and it's only because of flight. Like, flight, you can grab... you can now... not instead of looking at a picture of someplace far away that you would never be able to get to, you fly there. You're fucking getting somewhere in 5 hours. You're going coast to coast.
I think any invention that... There are inventions that make things convenient. Right? Planes change the way things are, but I think it's not that important if you still could have did what you wanted to do. Now, they had war during fucking 1401.
I know, but think of it in terms of... I know it makes
things better.
Think of it in terms of bringing someone from the past. You're taking someone from 1900 and bringing them to right now.
Right.
You show them the computer... and say, look at all this information. They'd be like, wow, that is a lot of information. And it's, holy fuck, what is that? It's in the sky and it's flying.
Yeah. Wait a minute, but I think they'll go, holy fuck, if, like on Pal Talk, if you push a button and this motherfucker looks at you and go, hey, and you go, can you...
This old guy in spats jerking off.
Yeah, can you show me your titty? And she goes right on time when you talking in this device, and you see, that's magical.
Even back then, they had fucking, show me your titty. And then, blip, show me titty, stop. Need to see your nipple, stop. Like they had forms of communication. The flight thing is something that if you brought someone from the past to the future, that would be the single most amazing fucking thing they would see. I understand technology with the computer is fascinating, and especially to us, and I think it's one of those things that kind of...
Well, in context of us right now, would you say... So you're saying in context
you get on a plane now and don't think about it.
In the past, you're saying in context of somebody in the past.
I'm still amazed by computers and what they're coming out with. I'm not amazed as much by flight.
You think that planes are more important than computers, or you saying if you brought people from the past to say, whoa, the most amazing thing,
they would be
way
more amazed by planes in the sky.
Right now,
you'd be like...
We take for granted planes. We take it for granted.
We've always lived with planes, so we
fly. Sometimes it hits you when you're on a plane. You go, this is a motherfucking miracle. I am fucking hurtling through the cosmos at 500 miles an hour,
and I'm
going to be back from the dead that never saw flight, never been on a plane. You throw them on a plane, they're not going to be. You think they're going to be more freaked out by a computer?
I have another argument.
No,
all right, Patrice.
I have another argument.
Willing to sit and listen.
Pass the joint, by the way. More pot talk.
Love it.
All right. I think the concept of man flying is amazing, but the concept of flight isn't. So I think that if you're a caveman or whoever you were back then, and you looked at things and you knew that, okay, Isaac Newton was what 16 something?
Yes.
So he saw birds. They knew of scientific reasoning for why birds flew. They knew scientifically why and how things fly.
Right.
And I think it was a matter of figuring out how to pull it off and be a bird. So we was trying to think about being birds. I think computers, no one ever sat and conceptualized the idea of what a computer is. To take all the information, these millions and millions of miles or whatever the fuck you call them, megabytes of information, put it through, and also real time, take that information through wires and through chips and all that. I think that came along. I don't think they were sitting in I think people been imagining flight. And I think if you brought somebody back from 18-something, they'll go, wow, somebody finally did it, man.
Figured that shit out.
I knew that was going to happen because we just always dreamt about it, but no one dreamt about blah, 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 LOL.
Well, computers were kind of like, even when computers were understood by a lot of people and available, limited, but to certain people thought the first thing was like, well, it's cool and all, but what the hell is the average Joe going to do with a computer? And there were people that would say, computers will end up in everyone's home. And you sit there and go, why would I need a fucking computer? And now you do not function without one. It is your line to learn things. If you got one of those stupid questions, remember it was like, who is the actor in that movie? And you'd sit there all night going, who the fuck? And it would bug the shit out of you. And now you go IMDb and like the information is there at your fingertips. And that's something that kind of progressed. And the people, I think people themselves threw all that info on. It wasn't Mr. Computer that said, here's all the information we need to put on computers.
And the thing we're not talking about with flight, going to the moon. You don't think someone coming back from the dead would be like...
By the way, we've been to the moon. We decided to rocket ship ourselves up to the fucking moon.
Although it was all made up. Hollywood style.
It was all fake. But
well, because the flag, there's no wind.
I think the progression. It's the progression that makes us take it for granted. It's like flight. You were saying you'd look at the bird and go, it's
flight
the progression
is a manipulation of science, though, Anthony. I think just like the submarine, the invention of it is fantastic, but the concept, it's the manipulation of what's given to us. The computer is an actual.
But that was also
didn't exist.
something
There's no scientific ground basing for a fucking computer. There's no nature thing that says, okay, one day I'll have this machine that...
It just came out of necessity because we had to figure shit out faster than people could with pencils and paper.
Right.
So they decided, let's fucking invent something that does this, and it kind of progressed into what it is. Flight was kind of, you know, the Wright brothers, powered flight, and then it progressed pretty quickly to something else, again, out of necessity. But if you took somebody that never saw, they might think, well, we'd put wings on a guy and he'd be in fast motion on top of a rock and he'd jump off and fall on his face. I love that clip. But then when you think, all right, we're shoving 500 motherfuckers in this tube, we call it a 747, and there's things called turbine jet engines, and the thrust flies out, it would freak people out.
Right.
And while you're sitting in your comfy seat, you get a beverage, and you drink it, and you're not fucking holding on for dear life going, ah!
They would be freaked out, too, that blacks and whites would be on the same plane, sitting wherever they want.
Some people are still kind of freaked out by that.
Flying places.
Flying
places together?
That's
what?
Greg, you're flying with your slave? How is this at all possible? They allow them to fly?
Took us 3.5 hours, Patrice.
You must be able to bring thousands over in a clip. Much faster than those ships
we must be getting along with you. It took 3.5 hours today.
Which actually,
the old days it would take 2 minutes.
Came on my
I used to do this bit when I first started comedy about why slavery's not around, just because I always just believe this country's so racist that if it could be slavery, it would. But it's like, what the fax this nigga? It's like there's no need for slavery. Once technology
got
came,
too convenient.
It was just like, how do I have a fucking slave? You know what?
How can I justify having a slave? Right. Hey, could you fucking find this plug for my iPod?
You don't have to lift anything anymore, so fuck. Go home.
Whip you in the back. Whack. Fax this nigga. Okay, sir.
I gotta hobble him. He might take off. What?
No.
Where's he going?
That's really funny.
Oh my God. Thank you, Than. Jesus.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Oh, you know, that's a compelling argument, sir.
You know,
it's possible.
What would be?
Hey. I think the computer myself is like amazing, but
until we bring somebody back from back then and ask them.
How about cell phones?
No.
It's just another.
Like you said, it's a progression.
Beep, 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 beep. It's another beep, communication device.
Someone comes back from the dead and
fucking it's smoke signals.
And you explain to them you could reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's pretty bizarre.
Well, you have to go back actually to the phone though, Obi. You have to be impressed with the.
Yeah, I understand.
With the concept of it, and then it elevates.
Watson, come quick! I need you.
Remember that fucking Alexander Graham Bell shit?
The first. So I mean, once that concept, when you go from can and string, cans and a piece of string, and you go, oh shit. Once that becomes something in the phone's like, oh shit. It all elevates from there.
Everyone starts thinking, where is this going?
Where is it going?
The second a technology hits, you think, all right, where is this going to be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
I think...
And why do we have to start with beepers, by the way?
Those
before cell
fucking
phones?
pagers. Can they figure that out?
Why couldn't they just jump to the cell phone?
Was it you?
That's very suspicious right there.
Was it you or you that was saying you think... It might have been you.
Really? I said something?
It might have been you.
What happened?
I think you said, I don't know, but you said you think that everything is already done. Oh. And they're slowly introducing each thing because it's overload to give us actually what is out there.
Yeah, that's if you take any economic course, they talk about that. Like we could have been doing the high def years ago. But they wanted to sell us the big TVs, the rear projection TVs, then the flat screens, and now finally high def.
So they already got the whole thing already.
Yeah, they were ready with high def years ago.
I think in the labs and stuff they got that shit, but I don't think they're ready for consumers. That's why they cost $14,000 when they first came out.
There's, you know what? Someone could help me out. I haven't been in college in 5-6 years now. Basically, there's something to do with. Someone will help me out. They have this technology, but they want to sell a certain amount. Then they realize the market's dying, let's say, as far as rear projection.
Yep.
Like, then they move on to the next technology to get everyone buying new shit again.
But without
and it's an economic term, and I don't know it right now.
But without technology, would somebody be demanding high def? Like, let's say they just gave us rear projection, and that's just what they gave us.
That was it.
Would people be demanding, you know what, I want something better?
You know what? I think that's what happened. I think it's like people got rear projection, and it's like, why the fuck am I watching a TV that is fucking 6 feet long, sticking off of my wall? Is there a way we can make a TV that is flat? I want a flat fucking television. And for years, they were not able to do that. Now with a cathode ray tube that has to be fucking long enough to shoot the fucking ray to the front of the screen.
It has something to do with economics.
They couldn't do it.
You're right, but it also has something to do with economics as well. They have it figured out, I'm telling you.
And then after a while, I wouldn't doubt that they do have these things and hold them back, but I don't think they've had them for very long.
They hold back the technology.
I don't think they have the capability of holding them back very long, these ideas. Before they get out, people are fucking nosy and gabby. I think, they had plasma TVs before they were announced. Shit like that.
There's a term, I'm telling you.
Well, we'll
get to it.
I just think we're living a great time, man.
Let's go to George in New York.
The end of the world.
The way shit's George. I hope it all ends in a big white flash. Some fucking nutty Arab decides to blow it all up. Live through that. Could sit with each other and just go, as our hair clumps are falling out from radiation, our teeth are falling out, just have one last drink and go, wasn't this great? We made it to the end.
To the end.
Where the fuck? All the shit that happened before
Can you
us.
imagine?
The first fucking little piece of protoplasm that split and decided to become a human. All that ends right now with one more toast as our teeth fall out and our hair falls out and our eyes bleed and we look at the flash.
End. It is the end. You get what
everyone wants to be part of the end, Patrice.
It's a shitty time.
You don't want to be in the middle somewhere.
We're at the end.
Let's be at the end.
We're at the fucking end.
If you're listening, push the button.
You know, Sonny, I went around with the last pigeon.
Oh, why are you?
Planned obsolescence.
Oh, planned obsolescence.
Google that.
Well, they know something's going to be obsolete. It's a planned thing. It's just kind of a placeholder.
But why would an 8-track tape be obsolete? Why would I need not to have an 8-track tape anymore?
Because cassettes, you could fit a lot more in your car.
Because all of a sudden they show you, look, cassettes, and you're like,
and you could fast forward and rewind them.
And know what you do? Throw out all your 8 tracks.
The 8 tracks became shit.
Yeah, everyone's saying planned obsolescence.
That's
George, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
How you doing?
Hey.
I'd have to agree with Patrice on this whole topic because, Anthony, you bring up a lot of good points, but there was a lot of science, and a lot of people could predict that we're going to be flying, but the computers and stuff, man, that's like, out of this, nobody even had a concept of that stuff.
Yeah, because like I said, it was kind of built out of this necessity to figure shit out faster. It wasn't built for, hey, everyone's going to have one of these, and we're going to make something called the Internet, and it's just going to be people that have this common place, this virtual place to talk and trade ideas and porno and whatever the fuck you want. Like it came out of guys, and usually the military, because, we got to figure these codes out. These fucking codes, and we got this guy sitting here with a pencil and paper trying to figure codes out. I got a machine, and it could do it a little faster. And from that, it just kind of kept going.
I read another interesting article on technology, and they say when this new technology comes out, we've talked about this on the show before, one of the main uses at first is for pornography.
Porno, yeah.
Always for porno. And then they decide, wow, all right, we got that out of the way. What else could this thing do?
That's usually public consumption first.
The printing, yeah, of course, like the printing press and all that. It was all about writing just the dirtiest stories
filthy stuff
in the beginning, and then they finally go, okay, let's do something useful as well.
I think most of the technology we have comes from the art of killing each other. We get most of our technology from war. When we make war, the need to win makes us really come to the fucking table and invent some real cool shit that then later gets used for hanging out and having fun. And
I have to disagree with that too. Not that you're making a point to disagree with, but I had this concept of why we have technology.
Don't tell me it's for the good of humankind.
I think the basis
for a hateful,
the basis
awful fucking race.
Laziness.
Yep.
Laziness.
Each invention is based on laziness. There's
Someone's got to get off their ass and invent it.
But that's what I'm saying. Each relevant invention, you don't need the plane to exist in this world.
Mm-hmm.
It was made to make things quicker and easier to do. You don't need escalators. You don't need umbrellas. You don't need shoehorns. You don't need anything really to exist. But you don't need a car. I can get to where I gotta go. I can get to 195th Street without a car, but it's a lot easier.
I agree with you. Usually it's one guy, though, or a couple of guys, a team that decides, like the Wright brothers, powered flight.
Right.
That had been a concept before, and then they decided to refine it, and they actually pulled it off.
Right.
The second they did that, it became this thing that the military kind of looked at. Like, they were trying to sell it to the military, too.
Yeah.
And like, all right, here we go.
And they made it something
Here's
like,
a way.
holy shit, we can kill a lot of motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Do you think the plane, if it was just strictly for transporting lazy people that didn't want to get in a covered wagon or a car or something, they decided, look, we can kill so many more people now with this fucking plane. It's amazing. Build me a shitload and put a space where I can fit bombs in them.
Now, this is a question. This is, like you said, pot talk. Is there a person that had the patent on the umbrella? Is there someone, are the Wright brothers kids getting paid for the plane?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Wright brothers had a shitload of fucking patents.
Yep.
And so
pieces of the plane
their
they
family,
got patented.
their family's getting, whoever their family, they're getting paid.
Yeah, they're still getting paid.
Amazing.
Hey, let's go to Damon in Cleveland. What's up, Damon?
Hey, Obi, you're right about, like, holding back technology. I've seen it firsthand. My wife works in research. It's like a medicine company. Like, say you're the first person to come out with a certain medicine, you would go along and pay other companies not to build the same medicine cheaper. And they can actually do that. My wife's seen it with different medicines, and I'm pretty sure they do the same thing with like technology. Like the first person to build, like say a DVD, for instance, you'll pay your competitors to back off or slow down just to make sure, because you have the patent on it first. You follow what I'm saying?
Well, there's a lot of that stuff that's going on. When I was back in college in the late 1900s there, I read a book. It was from a senator. He was the senator of Hawaii. And they figured out that we are so behind with the stuff we know. We should have been way more advanced, but they slowed things down for economic reasons and other reasons. Maybe for, competitors and all that as well. I don't know. Yeah.
I think when push comes to shove, and it's in the country's best interest because, like, people are beating the shit out of us or something, then you come up with things like the atomic bomb. Like, that whole war, World War II, was like, you know something? This is big. This is a big fucking war.
Why did we go to the moon?
Beat the Soviet Union.
Yeah, just because it was Cold War.
Because of the Cold War, to show them, look, that's the ultimate fucking high ground.
Right. And then what happens is all the technology that comes out of it that, building the ship,
plastics that they came up with and shit like that.
So then all this new technology comes out of it, but that wasn't the reason they did it initially. It was to show our dicks.
Initially, it's, wow, why are they beating the fuck out of this guy on television? Holy Jesus Christ. It's a crowd of people just pounding someone with sticks. Just when you think, we're talking about technology and going to the moon, and they're just showing people in Africa beating people with sticks. This planet is amazing. It is just this fucking smorgasbord.
We're talking about the greatest invention in the world.
Yeah. Show these motherfuckers an airplane and they freak out.
They're still doing old school crucifixions.
Old school fucking machete to the top of the head. Whack. God damn, man.
All right, we're going to step aside. We got to get an update on squirrels.
Can we eat squirrels?
Yeah, we'll explain next, Patrice. And I want to know if any of the guys got any other things they're going to do with the vaginas.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a thing called Your Vagina's Got Talent.
So Your Vagina's Got Talent.
See, you know what?
That's fucking genius.
So Your Vagina's Got Talent.
Can I please